Man, oh man, was I wanting to get this truck pressure washed today and all cleaned up outside, but it is simply too cold, and the reason I wanted to get it all cleaned up is because this is the truck that the engine we have been rebuilding is going to be going into. Check out the camper top that I snagged. Isn't she beautiful? Look here, check out the back door, how it opens. And no, it doesn't fit. We'll have to cut it down. That's another reason I wanted to get the truck inside today so I could start kind of playing with that. Look inside here. Beautiful. Look at the bracing. This sucker is built well. The Honda Goldwing project is still sitting here patiently waiting to be worked on someday. Possibly. Oh yeah. Camping and road tripping a 1968 520 Datsun? Yes, please. Welcome back to my channel. I'm the one and only infamous Kentucky Yankee without a doubt, and today will be an indoor shop day. I got started on our wheels, mounting the dog dish chrome hubcaps. I'll show you how I did it. These clips and rivets are marketed to go on a Volkswagen wheel. You can get them on eBay. I am going to use them on my Datsun. I first had to find the right location where to put these clips. That was a little frustrating, but I figured it out. Using a punch, I wallop it. Instead of the rivets, I'm using self-tapping screws. I'm using 3 of them, one there, and I will put one here. Seems to be the magic number for this wheel. I'm using these self-tappers because they secure it really good. These are removable if one breaks now, and I can remove them when the wheels get sandblasted and painted and reinstall them. I think they're better than the rivets. The caps I purchased has this lip right here, and it will not work with the way I have the clips configured on the wheel. You might think, well, the clips should have went this way to secure the cap, but that wouldn't really work either. They're sticking over the top there. What I'm going to do next is to squeeze this lip down right here, like so, all the way around. And the reason for that is so that this clip doesn't hang up on this lip. See, if the clip was to go down in and catch this lip, it'd never come off. But if this is smooth like that, it'll roll off, and it should still clip good. There's your finished product, and if you ask me, it looks pretty good. Nice and smooth, nothing will catch. The first time you go to clip them in, they'll be a little tight, but after that, they seem to kind of get where they need to be. So, this will be the tight fit. Do you hear that nice snap? She's crispy in there and tight. Now to see if it'll come off smoothly. A little ragola. Watch how it goes on the second time. Like perfect. That's pretty easy and it fits nicely. Watch. Well, there you go. So a little bit of effort, but that's okay. They won't fall off. Some of you may be saying that's a lot of jerry-rigging with a bunch of cheap parts. But in fact, before I even bought those parts, I considered using my wife's pot tops. And they would have actually worked pretty well, quite well, if she hadn't caught me and told me it was a no-go. I'll get these finished up, bring them to the sandblaster, then we can paint them. It was brought to my attention that I possibly did not check the ring gap exactly right, so we're gonna revisit that. Well, there's some confusion here, that's for sure. These rings are made for a Nissan 73mm bore standard size. I know I should be using telescoping gauges and micrometers, but just for demonstration purposes, let's see what this says. The measurement for all these cylinders is right at 73 millimeter. Again, this is not a perfectly accurate weigh, but it doesn't have much wear. These cylinders do not have as much wear as it's showing with the feeler gauges. After checking the ring gap on not only the top of the cylinder, but the very bottom, they're equal, and they're about 24 thousandths. It's supposed to be 13 thousandths of a ring gap. So my thoughts are this: I think those aftermarket rings are gapped more than they need to be, and they're simply not the OEM fit. But wait just a second. I actually checked the original rings, and all the measurements were the same as the new rings. If those are OEM rings with no wear, what's going on here? If anybody has any other thoughts on this, let me know. If we can take a moment to recap last episode, we had a worn out rocker shaft. Not to mention, we also had worn out rocker arms, completely worn out, and couldn't find any for a Nissan 520 pickup. They seem to be obsolete and impossible to find. But hold the phones. After a little research, I did in fact find a set of rocker arms and a brand new rocker shaft. This goes on an MG car, like an MGA, MGB, but the parts appear to be identical to my Nissan. So we'll try and put that together and see what happens. Uh-oh. These suckers came off tight and they're going back on tight, so I heated it up. Almost lost that, but I ended up just tapping it on. Nice and easy. She's fine. This is the very back one, and it has this retainer plug here to hold it in the right spot, and it'll be the guide for the rest of them, you know, where it's positioned on the shaft. And we'll just snug her up. It has a bolt with a slot in it, a washer to hold this in place so it doesn't rotate while the engine is running. Little assembly lube. Maybe a lot of assembly lube. And we'll slip her on there. Look at that. Very nice. Spring washer. Flat washer. Cotter pin. Tight fitting cotter pin. And that's okay, I like that. All nice and pretty. Spring, rocker arm, and now we need another one of these brackets. Let's see. Hopefully this one will go a little better. I'm trying to decide where it's supposed to fit there. Let's see how it does. Come on, girl. Oh, woof! Ah! Dang, not bad. Probably not perfect. I'll just tap her in place. These are a little tricky. Nothing we can't handle, but a little tricky. Making sure I have it lined up right. It's looking good. This is a little tricky, getting these perfect. A little bit frustrating, a little annoying, but we're gonna get the job done. I'm attempting to measure the distance this time. I put a wire on here to hold it in place. The piece should slide down in here and touch that and be really close. That was nice. Stubborn. Woo! A near fail, but I saved it. I'm gonna heat it up a little bit more. We'll try her again. That was better. Last one. Doesn't get much better than this. We're one step closer. Let's get our oil pump back together. We've got this little spring. This must be a relief valve, I would assume, and it fits in here. I'll just lube everything up a little bit. Assembly lube for the housing. I cleaned it up all around the edges because I wanted to use this anaerobic sealer. Around here it's a very thin sealer, and I'm only going to use a very little bit of it. It'll just take up any imperfections in the aluminum. I'm sure they did not have this in 1968, but we have it now. A super thin amount applied, and now our housing. Bolts, I put new lock washers on everything, grade 8 of course. And pickup screen. Now our oil pump is all reassembled and ready to be installed. I'm gonna need to take a little time, clean these parts up and get them ready. Still waiting on rod bearings. Hopefully they'll come soon so we can get this thing put back together. Do not delay, subscribe today if you want to keep watching this 520 Datsun build. I am the one and only infamous Kentucky Yankee without a doubt. Thanks for watching.